Hello and welcome back to the Drake and Josh podcast. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Trevor.
And today we watched Helicopter, our second to last regular season episode.
Yes. All we have is one more episode and then the movie, the Christmas movie.
Yep.
And then that's it. Drake and Josh is done.
Yep.
The end of an era.
Yeah, truly.
It's the end of an era in a weird time in history.
Yep, we were just talking about it before this. We don't even know if we'll be able to do any of these coming up, these last couple of them, in person like we normally used to do. It's possible that we end in quarantine.
Which would be sad.
It would be sad, but what can you do?
Our state is coming close to not being closed anymore.
Yeah,
and
true.
So we'll see. We'll see. If we can maybe get one day of recording and just wrap it up, that would be kind of nice. But also, we're not going to take any risks with our health or the health of those around us.
Definitely, yeah. So, it's impossible to say what the future holds.
State of the
now.
World.
Yeah. But anyway, on a lighter note, the episode was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
It was. You didn't have any housekeeping, by the way?
No.
That was it?
No, I don't have any housekeeping at all. I mean, it's classic quarantine, just been quarantined.
Yeah, fair. I just was making sure.
Cooked a pork sirloin for the first time last night.
Ooh, how'd that turn out?
It was good. It turned out really good.
Very nice.
I had it with some roasted broccoli and some mac and cheese.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it was nice.
Mac and cheese is good with pork. Also, sweet potato. If you're ever cooking pork again, sweet potato is great with pork.
I'll have to keep that in mind. We definitely like sweet potatoes, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. What about you? Any housekeeping?
Not really. No. Once again, quarantine, at home.
Yeah.
Doing stuff around here. Really. Yeah. I haven't really done any cool recipes. We tried a new thing last night. It was like a cheeseburger pasta thing, just because we're trying to really figure out new stuff to cook.
Yeah.
It's what can we do that's different? And it's all right, try this random recipe I found on the internet, and it was all right.
Yeah, that must be tough for you guys too, because do you get Uber Eats out there?
No.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. We do so much Uber Eats. Just do the leave it door option.
Yeah, we can get I think Domino's and Papa John's delivers.
Yeah, just normally through themselves, right?
They say through themselves, and then I have the Popeyes app, and it says that they'll deliver here.
You should test it out.
We haven't tested it, but I did plug in our address and started an order, and there was no issues. So they might deliver it to us.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. We're, I think, doing sushi tonight for dinner.
Nice.
And so, but we're going to have to go get it.
Go pick it up somewhere, yeah.
Go pick it up from our favorite place, Best Thai and Sushi.
Ooh, nice. Shout them out.
Yeah, I mean...
If you guys are ever in Dade City, go check them out for sure.
Well, it's more Zephyr Hills area.
Oh, never mind.
Regardless. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a special place. It's just, we like it. It's got good stuff. So.
Right on.
Yeah. There's not a lot of sushi in this area.
Can't imagine there is, yeah. So this episode starts off with the classic them talking at each other, but this time there's a twist. A guy enters the chat. Enter
Dave.
Yeah. He's really weird.
Yeah, he's just weirdly blank and silent. It starts out almost too generic.
Super generic, yeah. He's
they're
just oh, Josh always listens to his parents.
And Drake doesn't. And the other one should be more like me, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, enter Dave, and they're just what are you doing? And he's like, I got a webcam and turned it on, and here I am. And it's he's a Zoom hacker.
Yeah, exactly. That was a quarantine beginning.
That was crazy, because that's so relevant right now. People just listening on other people's web conversations recently. So
yeah, that's so weird. That's such a weird thing to do.
It's such a weird thing to do. But
yeah,
so
Dave starts brushing his teeth. He gags. He does multiple gaggings for some reason.
Weird. It was just weird. Drake and Josh try and continue with him still there, and once he starts brushing his teeth, they're I can't do this, and just leave.
Yeah.
It's great. It was weird.
But then after that, it cuts to the premiere where Josh is not the assistant manager.
Yeah, we get a glaring glimpse into the fact that the Really Big Shrimp was supposed to be the finale.
Yeah, the huge continuity error.
And yeah,
no Mindy anywhere in sight this whole episode. Also,
no, and I was one. Oh, yeah. I'll bring it up later. Actually, never mind.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say that there's a movie premiering there that's called Helicopter. There's only 4 showings also, and I assume this is opening night, which 4 seems like too few, unless this is just a small theater.
I mean, how many theaters have we ever really seen?
Not many. I mean, on the outside, it only ever shows like 8 movies playing at a time, which is not a ton.
No.
So what do you think it is, like a 12 theater max?
If it's a 12 theater theater, I don't think there's any way they would have 4 showings. Unless they have multiple theaters with the same time start.
Yeah.
Which would make sense for the 4 time slot showings, I guess, because it was like the 4 o'clock showing. And then... But that's a terrible way to run your theater. You want to stagger those theaters out so that way you're constantly having people arriving.
Yeah.
You're not having, like... 5 of your theaters playing the same movie at the same time, so you have 5 times the people trying to buy tickets at one time.
I think this one's show times were, I think it was 4, 7, 9, and 11, I think, were the show times.
To me, seems like they're staggering.
Yeah, they're staggering. Yeah, all those are staggering.
They're not staggering enough.
No, there needs to be more showings.
There needs to be more showings.
They must have, like, one big premiere theater, and that's the one that they're only showing it in. Like, back to back.
I guess. I don't know. Like, our local for a while. Yeah. Our local for a while, Zephyr Hills, which we never go to anymore. Especially not now with quarantine.
Rip.
But they added on more theaters in the back. And so for a long time, like, the only time movies were, like, you would never get any movies in the front part of the theater that were, like, new. Because they were bad theaters.
Yeah.
But now they've, like, updated the front one, so I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why I brought that up, actually. That was a dumb conversation.
Right on.
That went nowhere.
A little bit of intrigue in the Zephyr Hills theater that you go to sometimes.
They now serve beer, which is, like, the only reason to go anymore.
Don't most theaters serve beer? At least all AMCs do, because they have whatever that freaking place is called.
The Cobb that I used to work at only serves alcohol on the upper floor, the Cine Bistro.
Ooh.
But those, like, tickets are extra expensive, and it's already an expensive theater to go to.
Yeah, because that guy got shot there.
That's not why it's expensive, but that did happen. Not while I worked there.
Sorry, I had to shoehorn that in.
Just had to throw it in. I worked there after that happened, and they told us never to talk about it.
That's crazy. I mean, it was an insane thing. It was really just a sad situation.
Oh, it was super weird.
Yeah.
But, whatever. And then there's another one at University Mall that I would go to. They also serve alcohol in all the theaters, but...
You went all the way down to University Mall?
Yeah, because it's the Studio Movie Grill.
Oh.
So, like, all throughout the movie...
Still never been.
If you're running low, you just hit that button, and then someone comes, and you're like, I want another one. And they're like, all right, and they leave and bring it back, and it's
you
great.
Did that, 5-6 times?
I've done that a few times, yeah. Only for movies that I don't care super a lot about.
Because you're going to have to pee.
That, and also there's, like, the waiters, I guess is what you would call them. Walking through and, like, going to people's seats and stuff, so they might interrupt part of the film or whatever if they're trying to go past you. So
yeah.
I do that for, like, dumb fun movies like Detective Pikachu and stuff.
I was drunk when I watched it. Me and Will went to go see it. We were pretty drunk.
It makes it more fun.
We went to BJ's before, and then we walked across the parking lot to the movie theater.
There you go. See? So, what were we talking about?
So the movie theater. So
Helicopter.
Drake wants he wants free tickets from Josh. He wants 2 free tickets. And he invites this girl from across the lobby. He just screams, "Hey, blue shirt." And she just agrees to it. Her name's Terry.
She looks like she was on a date, kind of, too.
Yeah, there was a dude next to her. But it
also,
looked to me
he
like a
didn't seem
group
to-
scenario.
I guess, but he looked like he didn't really care. He was like, really? And then was like, all right, and just kind of let it go.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it was some sort of like friend group,
I could see that.
you know? But who's to say? I mean, Drake has stolen women from dudes
Constantly.
Yeah.
So often.
But yeah,
And-
so Drake ends up having to go in line because Josh wouldn't give him any tickets, but he is able to cut in line because a couple of girls say, oh, go right ahead. And he ends up being the person in line who's like the winner from the studios.
He's the 1,000th person
Yeah.
to buy a ticket for Helicopter.
Must not be
Copper.
1,000th at the theater. Must be 1,000th, like, in general, I guess.
Might be at the theater. They might have done it like at multiple theaters, done like big premiere events or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. They're not super specific, but the studios' names are Paramore Studios and Dreamscope.
Great knockoff names.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I liked Paramore a lot. Dreamscope
Paramore's
was okay.
pretty good. Dreamscope, I mean, yeah. But yeah, you're right. Paramore's the better one.
Yeah, that was the one that I heard straight away, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I had to rewind it to hear the other one. But yeah, Josh is like, oh man, Drake always gets, good shit. Everything bad always happens to me. And then these cops come up and like, hey, is that your...
And it's the classic Asian coworkers like, Josh, don't worry, good things happen to you too.
Yeah.
Immediately the cops walk up.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, your 6-speed or 12-speed red bike or something is on fire, whatever they say.
Like,
I feel like they were really specific.
Yeah, they were. Also, why is he not like driving to work?
Well, I'm not 100% on the car situation. We never have been.
The car situation is so sporadic in this show.
Josh is one of the guys that's never really had a car, though. He's always borrowing
Yeah.
the car. Drake's had cars, for sure.
Drake's had cars. How, by the way, has Drake had cars when Josh is the one making money?
Drake makes money. He dupes people into giving him money.
True. I guess he also probably gets paid from his gigs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But at this point, he doesn't have a number one hit yet, despite what they want us to think.
True. Yeah, because it's out of order.
Super out of order.
But that's everything that happened pre-credits. So then the credits roll, and you get the nice little
did you
song.
mention that he won the helicopter ride as well?
Yeah, I think I had started to mention it before the
Okay. I couldn't
studio
remember if
names.
you'd said... I know we said he got tickets, but he also got a helicopter and skydive trip.
Yeah, free from the studios. Yeah, so then the credits roll, and then it starts right up in their living room, and Drake is making out with the girl from the movie theater, Terry.
Yeah, and Josh is just sitting there next to them. Like, dude,
Yeah, I don't know why he's there.
get up and leave. Like, why are you in that? Like, you have your stuff upstairs. Just leave.
Maybe
Or send-
they had something recorded on like the DVR, and he was watching it, or TiVo back then.
I still would have left. I'd have been like, it's recorded. I'll watch it later.
He wanted to watch it bad, dude. It's
Enough
the only thing
to
I could
sit-
think of because they have a TV upstairs. So
Yeah, just sit there and like fume at Drake's good fortune and the fact that he's just making out with this girl.
maybe he gets off on it.
He tells him to stop, so I don't think
He did look
does.
disgusted. But yeah, then the parents walk in and Josh gets a free rib. Only one rib, but it's huge.
Yeah, it's like, we
a
got a
big-ass
doggy
rib.
bag. Who wants the rib? And he's like, me. And it's like, why?
It sounds so weird. I never hear ribs in the singular form.
Who wants a rib? Oh, yeah, that's all I need. I need one rib, please.
It's something that you never eat one of.
No, you have to at least have two.
Yeah, I feel that 2 or 3, depending on the size.
Yeah.
If
If
they're
they're like
baby
the
back,
baby
you gotta
backs.
have at least a half
Like
rack.
5.
Yeah, you gotta have the half rack. Just had ribs the other night. Actually, we ordered Outback.
Oh, nice.
And I got some ribs. They were pretty good. You know.
Did you get a bloomin' onion?
No, we didn't get a bloomin' onion. You know, sad. Yeah, I know.
That's upsetting. That's really upsetting.
I know. It is sad.
Next time I'm there,
Yeah, we should. That'd be dope.
We should get Outback and order a bloomin' onion.
It's better there, though, because when you order it, it takes like a little bit, and then it's in the box, so it gets a little bit softer. It doesn't have the same crunch, you know?
No, you're not wrong, but regardless, I have been dying for a bloomin' onion because I feel like Outback has ramped up their like commercials for this quarantine thing. Like,
Yeah, they
hey,
want
don't
you to
forget,
remember.
don't forget, you can get Outback to go. And I'm just like, oh, that bloomin' onion. Every time I see it, I'm like, I want it.
Yeah.
I want that sauce. That bloomin' onion sauce is so good.
It is really good. We should go next time you're down. We should just go to Outback.
We could.
I'd be down.
I think I've had a gift card, like a $50 Outback gift card for like,
Fuck yeah, dude.
oh God, like 7-8 years now.
And if you get a flight there, it comes out on a boomerang.
Does it really?
Yeah, I've gotten one there before.
I've never gotten a flight. I just
It takes
get a
up so
beer.
much of the table, though, because it's a boomerang, so it's curved.
Yeah.
It's
You gotta like wrap it around your plate somehow.
Yeah, you do, yeah. But the beers they have there are not even like that adventurous, so like you
Exactly. That's why I would never get a flight.
you end up getting like two kind of cool ones, and then the other two are just like beers you've clearly already had because they're like name brand.
It's like, oh yeah, in my flight I'll have a Yingling
Yeah,
and a Bud Light.
you definitely could.
Imagine getting a flight. They're like, oh, you're like, I want a flight. It's like, what do you want? Like all Bud Lights.
I
On
mean,
a flight
that'd
of
be
Bud
fucked.
Lights.
I guess they would
That's
probably
all.
do it though if you asked for all of the same, but they'd be confused.
They would probably be very confused. They're like, are you sure you don't want like the tall glass? Like, nope.
I like the
I like
little
the
ones.
little. It makes me feel like a big man.
But I'm pretty sure I can't remember completely, but I'm pretty sure they had like preset flights you could get.
Oh.
Like ones that were already like set up because they don't have a
think-
huge selection.
I think you're right. Because I'm trying.
I think there was only two, and I think I chose the one that was a little bit more interesting because the other one I'm pretty sure had like basically Bud Light on it.
I think you're right because now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember reading through the flight thing briefly, going, "Why would you get a flight here?" and then immediately going away.
I did it once.
So
You got to
I
do
think
it. Dude.
Maybe I'll do it next time.
You should just for the boomerang.
We'll go
Yeah.
when we go after all the quarantine stuff's done. We'll go to Outback and both get flights.
Fuck yeah.
We want 2 flights, please.
It's a date, and we'll each get a bloomin' onion.
Oh God, I can't eat a whole bloomin' onion.
It's like 5,000 calories.
We just die. We just have a heart attack right there.
It'd be worth it. You'd be doing something you love when you died, you know?
That is true. Eating. That's.
But after the whole one rib scenario, Drake has a great line where he says 1 in 5 don't even make it to the ground when he's talking about people jumping out of helicopters.
Yeah. So the dumb girl, because she is kind of dumb. We do find out.
She's very gullible.
She's talking to Drake about like, oh my God, I can't believe you're gonna actually skydive, and his parents are starting to overhear all this, and
Yeah.
that's when he drops the whole 1 in 5 don't make, or 2 in 5.
No, 1 in 5, yeah.
It was 1 in 5
Yeah.
don't make it to the ground. And Josh is just like, where did they go?
Yeah, as he's chewing on the rib, which he eats it so weird. Like at one point you can see him in the background and he bites it like tall ways, like from the end instead of like long ways.
Like he would be biting bone. Like
Yeah,
like,
just the end
so
of it.
weird. Oh, it was
I didn't know how to
weird.
describe it. Tall ways doesn't really make any sense, huh?
No, tall ways makes sense. I think he's tried to go from like the end, like it was a churro.
Yeah, exactly like a churro. Actually, that's pretty.
It's his
great.
churro addiction.
He does bring up churros later in the episode. But Drake slaps the rib out of his hand when he gets mad.
Walter and Audrey.
Yeah, Audrey.
Walter and Audrey come out and are like, "You are not jumping out of a helicopter." And he's like, "Why not?" And they're like, "You're just not doing it. Like, we're your parents. We say no." And he just gets mad and
Storms off, leaves the chick.
yep. And then Josh picks up his dirty rib off the ground and is like, "I'm gonna go rinse this off."
Yeah, the whole time Trevor was just like, "Don't eat it, don't eat it."
Please. Like, I get some things, pick it up off the ground, like 5-second rule is fine. That is
Not a rib.
That is a moist object.
And probably
That
a
is
little
going
bit
to-
cold. He took it right out of the bag.
It probably rolled in like on the rug there and got fuzz.
Ugh.
Like that thing's ruined.
Oh yeah, it's definitely no good anymore.
I wouldn't even rinse it. I'd just be like, all right, well that's done.
Yeah. That one's
And
done.
then-
You gotta take that one for what it is. That's a lost rib.
For sure. And then Audrey had to tell Terry, like, you should probably go home. And she was like, okay, and just got up and left. It
Yeah,
was
like the same reaction she had when Drake initially asked her out.
I think that's most of her reactions have been, okay.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know if she can say anything else, honestly.
Harsh.
You're the one that called
That
her
is
dumb initially.
That is an accomplished actress.
We did, yeah. We looked her up. She's been on a ton of shows.
She was on, I forget already.
All of the
What was it?
CSI shows.
Baby Daddy?
Yeah, she was on
Parks and Rec?
That one episode. Yeah, she's Jerry's daughter in Parks and Rec. Also, she's a random character in the Storm of the Century episode of It's Always Sunny, which is a good episode.
There we go.
But yeah, so the next scene is Audrey in the kitchen boiling used underwear
Underpants.
that Walter bought because he's trying to save money.
Which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Both the fact that he bought used underwear and the fact that she is boiling it.
Yeah, it's really gross.
You're better.
But how
Just
else are
throw
you
it
going
in
to
the
clean it?
Washing machine.
That's fair. You could definitely do that.
You're much better off with soap
And
than
just turn it on
boiling
hot.
it. Yeah, do that. Like, there's a sanitized mode on most washers, isn't there?
I don't know. I usually don't mess with
Regardless-
it too much.
Regardless, it's a lot of soap. It's detergent. It's gonna get rid of whatever's on there.
Yeah, for
I still
sure.
wouldn't wear them because that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That's
Even
someone
after bleaching it and stuff.
you could bleach it like 20 times, and I don't know if I'd still put it on unless I was desperate.
Yeah, you got to be
Like
pretty
a
desperate.
like a stranger's underpants.
Yeah, not even like your boy.
I'd be hard pressed to even like use like a friend or a family member's like after washing that much.
Still
It'd be
gross.
weird. It's still gross, but like a stranger's just that much worse.
Yeah.
It's just,
But Josh walks into the kitchen to grab a juice, and his mom is surprised because she's like, "I thought you were going to the water park with Drake," and this
he's
is where
like,
he realizes, yeah,
He is a terrible liar. Mm-hmm. Like, they couldn't have made it just a little bit more believable because there's no way, as any parent, like Audrey would never have gone. Did Drake lie? And then when Josh says no, like no parent would have ever have gone. I believe you.
yeah. Well, they
No.
think that Josh is a trustworthy person
He has been shown time and time again
to cover for Drake.
he is honest until Drake is involved.
Yeah, what's
The
his
moment
boy?
Drake's involved, it's his brother, yeah, but still. I don't know.
But when
I
when
wouldn't
he's
have believed.
pressed by his mom, he has a great line where he says, "Is this juice new? It's delish."
I love the delish line.
And then he
So
runs out of
good.
there because he needs to get out of there and go find Drake because he knows exactly where Drake is at.
Yes. And Audrey leaves the kitchen, and Walter comes walking in.
Yeah, she goes to squash a bug for Megan.
Yes, and Walter walks in and like puts a plate in the sink and like sees the pot and smells it, and he's like, "Huh," and then just gives it not one, not two, but 3 tastes of that nasty boiling underwear water. It hadn't even been boiling yet.
No, it didn't look like it was boiling. I didn't see any steam or anything. It's just water.
So
Maybe with soap
it's just
in it.
underpants and water, and like he smells it and he thinks this smells like something edible. Not this smells like boiling either ass or bleach.
Also, if it's just water or water
What
with
is that
soap,
gonna do?
you can like see in it. Like you'd be able to see that it's underwear.
It must have been really gross in there.
It
not
was
been
super
able to
murky. Oh god.
And then he only realizes what it is whenever he digs down deep enough with that spoon and pulls up the underpants.
Yeah, and then he passes out
It
after
seems
gagging.
like he just faints. I was hoping he was going to throw up, but
That'd be pretty good. They should have made him throw up. They cut right as it's coming out, like really quick. That'd be a good.
you see
cut.
just like the littlest.
Yeah, you
like
see
the
it.
littlest, the gone.
Yeah, so then
Then
it cuts to Drake in the lobby of the heliport.
Yeah, he's getting his rundown from the pilot instructor guy about like, all right, is this your first time? He's like, yeah. He's like, all right, we're gonna go over the stuff, and it was the method is once we're up there, you're going to squat, you're going to pray, you're going to leap, you're going to and then touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown.
And that spells splat.
Yeah,
and Drake's like, that spells splat. And the instructor guy's just like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, oh, man.
Well, anyways, he probably thought he had a nice little thing going there and then realized, oh, it spells splat.
Yeah, they had the big poster of it and everything. But then
the whiteboard, wasn't it?
It was something. I don't know. But then Josh comes in and tries to convince Drake not to do it. And at one point he brings up that he brings in SPF 100 for the water park.
I don't think that's a thing. Is that a thing?
No, you can get SPF 100. Yeah.
Really?
It's something
Why?
that you wouldn't usually use on your whole body. People I know a lot of the time use it, one, if you're super, super pale, or if you have like a new tattoo and you're trying to... And I know that's one of the reasons, because you don't want the color to get fucked up. But yeah, okay. SPF 100, he uses it on his whole body.
Like, what's the point of going outside if you're going to use SPF 100?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm even super pale, but whenever we go out, I usually only use SPF 30.
No, I was able to get on the lake the other day, and I didn't wear any sunscreen.
Yeah, but that's because you're crazy. You don't burn either.
I don't really burn easily. No,
I do. I'll burn.
I'm feeling my shoulders right now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good to go. Like, I'm getting some color back. I had my wicked farmer's tan.
Classic farm boy.
But it's balancing out a little bit. Oh, you can't tell over camera. What am I doing? But yeah. So I don't know. But then the instructor guy comes back, and Drake's like, I'm just gonna go up. I'm just gonna ride. You know, I'm not gonna jump. I'm just gonna go for a ride.
Yeah, go in a helicopter. You don't get to do that very often.
And Josh again tries to convince him, like, don't do it. And the instructor guy's like, you can go.
Yeah.
And Josh immediately is all for it. He's like, let's go. I want to ride in a helicopter.
Yeah, he's pumped.
Josh is so dumb in this episode.
Yeah, he does get dumber, seemingly at the end of the season. They like really dumb him up.
Yeah, he gets dumb, I feel like, for the plot at times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I don't like that. I like consistency in my characters.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It seems like he's gotten like just as much, if not a little bit more dumb than Drake.
Yes.
Somehow.
Like Drake had intelligent moments this episode.
He has been, like, these past few episodes, I feel like.
I wonder if he maybe said something, like...
He was pissed?
Hey, I want Drake to be, like, not so dumb.
Like, he was pretty dumb before.
He was, like, how do you function in society levels dumb at times. But now he seems like just a dumb.
Yeah. Like normal, I would say. Normal dumb.
Normal, wow, how can you be so dumb?
High school dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then they show the exterior of the helicopter, which I saw on it that it says Schneider on it, which is a little Easter egg for the creator. And while they're in there, Josh starts talking about birds, and the bird freaking hits the windshield.
He's like, "It's that bird, we learned about it at bird camp. It's very intelligent." Splat.
Yeah. The guy's like, oh, real smart bird.
And while he's looking at the bird, Drake starts putting on his parachute, and Josh then flips out on him.
Yeah. Because he didn't think he was actually going to jump. He believed him.
Which was dumb on Josh's part.
Yeah, and they start arguing.
They get in a little tussle, and then the pilot's like, stop arguing. Also, Drake is about to jump, like, without someone with him. Yeah. He's doing a solo jump for his first jump ever.
I don't think you would be able to do that anywhere.
No. It would be no way. Because you need training and you need someone to go with you. Like, all the training he got was Splat.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's pretty good training.
But Splat didn't even cover when are you supposed to open the parachute.
No, it didn't.
How long do you free fall? Like, how do you even hit your target? Like, you don't just jump out, land, and you're fine. Like...
You don't think so?
You have to be able to land in the landing zone.
You land anywhere, bro.
You don't land anywhere. You land in the middle of the preschool that they were talking about earlier.
Yeah. But yeah, so the helicopter pilot gets up, he turns autopilot on, and when he goes over to try to get them to stop fighting, he somehow like falls and smashes his head on the fire extinguisher, knocks out instantly.
Instantly unconscious.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So Drake and Josh then panic, and they're like, all right, we gotta wake him up, otherwise we're gonna die.
Yeah.
And so they like sit him up and they slap him about, and Drake gives him a real solid slap.
Really good slap, yeah.
And then he just slaps back immediately, like reflex.
Yeah.
Just boom. Got that.
Which this whole time, all this movement in this helicopter was really freaking me out because both sides of the helicopter were open and they're constantly
wide
like
open,
super close to the edge of it.
And none of them have any hearing protection on.
No protection at all of any kind.
They're just able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, that is the quietest helicopter in existence.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the case.
No, they would be unable to hear.
So yeah, he gets up and then he's like, "What did I hit my head on? I feel awful." And then Josh picks up the fire extinguisher and he's like, "Oh, you hit it right here," and he blasts him, and the guy falls out. Luckily, he had the parachute in his hand, which I guess strapped onto himself midair.
People have done that. Have you seen those crazy guys who will like throw the parachute out and then jump to chase after it to get the adrenaline rush?
That sounds like the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
It's horrible. It's so dumb, but people do it, man.
Yeah, that's awful. But then after he falls out, they really start freaking out. They try to get the radio to work. It doesn't work at first. And then Drake says, "I can do this. I've played a video game before."
I played helicopter rescue. I rescued the princess on the top of the Empire State Building with a lobster shooting laser beams at me. And Josh is just like, I can't argue with that. And it's like, yes, you can. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can argue with that. Like,
he couldn't at the time.
I kind of get if you played like people with like airplane sim games, like even some of the more arcadey ones. They're still like the up and down, like the proper landing with like floated in and stuff. Yeah. I can understand that. A helicopter is a very complex, different machine that is super simplified for like every video game.
Is there one of those sim games for helicopters, like there is for flight sim?
Probably.
Never seen it.
Probably not as popular because it's probably way harder.
Yeah, I know. At least I don't know what it looks like in the inside of a helicopter, but on the inside of like airplanes, that pilot station looks fucking crazy. There's like switches and shit everywhere.
There's so many buttons in
at least in like a commercial airplane.
For sure.
So yeah, they disengage the autopilot.
Like a little one.
What do you mean, like in a little biplane?
Yeah, there's still like a pretty good amount of like switches and knobs and gauges. It's
really?
Just like I would think, like from what I could imagine, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I know like gliders and stuff obviously.
Yeah, they don't know.
They have like the one stick.
Yeah, and they say good luck, bitch.
The stick and pedals. And that's it.
But yeah, so they disengage the autopilot, and it immediately starts like falling to the side. Yeah.
And then they like manage to switch the autopilot back on. And like, well, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
The tower calls, and again we see the Schneider on the inside where it's got like the call numbers for the helicopter.
Oh, does that happen before they call Megan?
Yes, because they only call Megan after the radio. The tower guy's like, okay, where are you? Like, give me some landmarks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Drake goes to look out the back and yanks the radio, and it falls out and is going to kill somebody when it lands.
Yeah, he's like, I see a radio plummeting to Earth.
So good. Their timing in this one was really good.
Oh, yeah, it was super good. A lot of the lines were really good in this one. But yeah, so they call Megan because they're trying to call their parents. And I guess for some reason that means Megan's cell phone.
I think that was their house phone, to be fair.
Oh, was it? I didn't really get a good look at the phone.
It looked too big to be their cell phone.
I just kind of took it as a cell phone for some reason, but that doesn't really make any sense. So it probably was the home phone. So she's
Do
talking.
parents not have cell phones?
That I don't know. Maybe they don't know the number by heart. You know?
He had his cell phone, though.
That's true.
Parents...
That's true. Yeah, they would be programmed. Yeah.
Wouldn't you have your parents... Like, Walter has to have a cell phone for work.
I don't know. Maybe they're just not good with answering it.
Could be.
I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. They give it one go.
Whatever. So, yeah, Megan is on the phone talking about stickers with her friend.
She's talking to Janie.
And then she's like, call back in a half hour. And just hangs up on them, despite the fact that they are very obviously in mortal danger.
She doesn't care, dude.
They're going to die.
She doesn't freaking care, dude.
She would be responsible for their deaths.
Yes, technically.
She
would get out of it.
She could go to jail for, like, negligence, right?
Manslaughter.
I don't know if she would get manslaughter. I think she would just get negligence.
Criminal negligence.
I think that's what that would be, right?
I don't know.
I don't know enough about laws.
But then after that, they notice that the tank is on E, and then Josh hopes that it means extra fuel.
Also, they never call anyone else.
No. They talk about calling the fire department.
They could have called 911.
Yeah, you could.
That absolutely constitutes an emergency for 911.
What would they even be able to do?
Get them in touch with the tower again.
How? Yeah, I guess through the cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just talk and be like, all right, now.
Who cares?
Grab the stick, do it like this, do this thing, land it. Whatever. So in their panic, they find another parachute.
Well, first Josh starts praying like mad. And he starts confessing to stuff, like washing some lady's laundry and shit. Stealing candy.
That's weird. The candy one, fine, whatever.
The laundry one was a little bit perverted.
Why are you watching a pretty lady's underpants in the laundromat?
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Why are you at a laundromat?
He was chilling, dude.
What is he... Like, they live in a really big, nice house. What is he doing
I assume
at a
this was when he
laundromat?
was a kid.
I think Walter was the one with the money, though.
No, because that was Drake's house. Remember, Josh moves in.
True.
That's why we always thought she had a crazy job.
True. Do you think that they had, or she got a lot of money out of her ex-husband?
Possibly.
Yeah, I guess. That's when it would have happened, yeah.
But yeah, so like you were saying, there's only one parachute that they can find.
Yes. And so Drake's like, I'll go get help and come back.
Yeah. And Josh is like, what help will you bring? A dive team for my corpse?
Which, yes.
it's a good line, though.
It is a good line.
But then all of a sudden, Drake is afraid to jump because he looked down.
Josh is like, I'm going to put the parachute on, clip you to me, and we're going to jump. And Drake's like, never mind. I'll stay. You go ahead.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he's too scared.
Yeah, honestly. So they jump.
Yep. Yeah, Josh clips in without Drake knowing and then just leaps.
I mean, they did some of it. He squatted to pray.
That's true. They did, yeah. Part of Splat.
And then he leapt. And then he
Did they touch down,
and then they splash landed, to be fair.
They did, yeah.
So it'd be splash.
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 Yeah, rip helicopter, though. They abandon it.
Yeah, that thing crashed.
Into the ocean. And they say that they swam 2 miles and were eventually rescued by a tuna boat.
And didn't bring any tuna back for Megan.
Nope. And they start chasing her around, pissed.
And then Mom and Dad come home. Luckily, they're all wet. So it looks like they were going to get away with it.
Yeah,
they were like, how's the water park?
Exactly.
And Megan keeps her mouth shut because she knows that she probably would actually be in trouble.
For not helping.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then they're like, they look like they might get away with it. And then the helicopter pilot shows up.
Yeah. And they try to play it off like he's a crazy person, but then Walter insists on taking care of it, and he walks over to the guy and he's like, how can I help you? And the guy just hands him a bill for the helicopter, which was $400,000. Doesn't seem like that much for a helicopter, maybe?
I don't know.
How much does a helicopter run for?
All right.
Maybe that is accurate. But 400K only equals 2 weeks of grounding, apparently.
Helicopter for sale.
New. Skydive ready.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's it looking like?
Nope, not that far off. The first one that had a price tag on it, it's got 800 hours. It's a used one. $500,000.
So with inflation, that could be possible.
Oh, okay. So this one's only 130,000 pounds.
It's in pounds, not dollars.
They're because this is from all over the world. So some of
gotcha.
them are in the UK. This one's 800,000. This one's $1 million.
Sounds like it varies like crazy.
Yeah, probably. This one's only 200,000.
So
I guess that's
relatively middle ground. They were pretty spot on, just like with the tanning bed. Remember?
True, very true.
They do their research.
They did do their research.
But then the only thing after that is the cutscene. That they show in the end credits, and they end up talking to a little girl named Katie, who's 5 years old. She's in the control tower because her dad's using the bathroom.
Which I don't think that's how that would happen.
She does not help at all.
No. And she's like, I could play the harmonica, and starts playing the harmonica.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, that was yeah, like you said earlier, it's not, we didn't miss anything by that scene being cut.
No, not at all.
Like,
it makes sense why it was cut.
For sure.
But that was the episode.
Yeah, it was.
Who do we want to shout?
I definitely want to shout Terry. So
Yep.
Katie Gill. We talked about her earlier, so we might as well shout her out. And D. Elliott Woods, the pilot.
Where does it say that? Who's Troy?
What do you mean? Troy? Yeah, who is Troy?
I guess shout out Troy, Renee Cadet.
Who is Troy? I don't remember.
And Tim
Troy.
O'Keefe, he was Dave.
Yeah, good job.
And then let's see, somebody from the cast, or sorry, the crew. Jim Hill, medic. Those are my shout outs.
With all those helicopter stunts, of course they had to have a medic.
Yeah, dude. This was a Virgil L. Fabian directorial episode.
Do you think Scott Olenek, who was the stand-in, do you think he could have been the guy that, like, the stock or the actual skydive footage that they showed?
Maybe. It's definitely possible.
Scott, if that was you, good job. Because they very obviously cut to not Drake and Josh skydiving.
Yes. It was clearly way higher than they actually were. So what do you rate the episode?
I'll give it a solid 8.
Right
8
on.
out of 10 Quatlers. It was fun, you know?
Yeah, I feel you.
Nothing crazy special about it. It's kind of hard coming off of Real Big Shrimp and going to the out of continuity that this is. But, you know.
True, yeah.
8 out of 10.
Yeah, I feel you. I was going to give it an 8 out of 10, but I don't know. I feel like I'm feeling now a 7.5 out of 10.
Interesting.
7.5.
You just don't want to have the same as me?
Down. That was one of the reasons. One of the reasons is because I felt like we were doing too many in a row now where we were at the same rating.
Well, because we know. Like, we're on the same wavelength now.
Yeah. Well, and because I just feel like it didn't have as many maybe laugh out loud moments as an 8 out of 10. I don't know. 7.5 out of 10 is where I'm going with it.
I'll agree with that. There was not really any laugh out loud moments in this.
I mean, I laughed out loud a few times, and there were some good lines, but yeah, I mean, there's still room for improvement.
For sure. I did some very hearty,
Chuckles.
heavy exhales.
Just a bunch of exhales.
That was good. Funny.
But yeah, that's pretty much the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys check us out on Instagram, iTunes, all that good stuff. And we'll catch you guys for the next episode. Go watch some Drake and Josh.